All right, hello there. Welcome to this yoga class. I'm super excited to share this with you today. What you're going to encounter here is something that I've been experimenting with in my own body and in my own practices, and I felt compelled to share it here to see if it could be of service to you. So, this practice is going to include some traditional yoga movements, things that will seem somewhat familiar, but within each form, not necessarily each form, but within forms, we will experiment with isometric engagement of different muscle groups and kind of pulsating in that way. Um, I think of this as almost a combination of isometrics, yoga, and a little bit of tensegrity. It's kind of informed by all of those. This is going to be a really solid practice for active recovery. So maybe you come to this class after, having moved your body in some more rigorous ways earlier in the week. Or perhaps you come to this class gearing up to go do something. It's also going to work as a good way of kind of firing, stabilizing, engaging through all these different muscle groups. So let's get going. All right, we are going to start on the backside of our bodies. Knees can be bent about max distance apart. And take a moment here to settle in, become aware of your breath. If you would like to start that ujjayi breath, you can take your inhales and exhales through your nose. Think of drawing your breath flat back into your throat. That kind of slight constriction in your throat will aid in the process. As you become aware of your breath, you might feel called to inhale a bit deeper and exhale more fully. Let's take a couple more breaths. Let your breath return to a more natural cadence. And from here, you might reach your arms overhead, take a stretch through your side body. And then arms can come out to a T, palms facing down. Let's begin to windshield wiper those legs from one side to the other. The next time your legs are over to your left, you're going to pause here. And this is where we're going to have our first isometric engagement. This right leg, as it's internally rotating, think of firming up through the muscles of that leg. You might even kind of lift that hip to create easier access to get to those muscles. And notice if you want to point or flex your toe. But from here, firming up the muscles of this upper leg, this glute, and then pulsing, letting them go. Firm and soft. Firm, soft. Firm, soft. Move at your own pace here. We'll continue this for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's do a couple more windshield wipers, side to side. Maybe you notice if there's a different sensation between your left and right leg at this point, if that created some difference. And then the next time your knees are over to your right, go ahead and pause there. Same thing here. We're going to get into that left leg. So really engaging through the muscles of that upper leg, lifting through the hip, and then softening. Engage, soften. Engage, soften. Engage, soften. Let's continue this at your own pace. And we might go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back up through center, a couple windshield wipers, rinse that off. And come through a neutral stance with your legs. Plant them hips distance apart, heels toward bum. Go ahead and press into your feet. Lift through your hips. Find your bridge form here. It's early in the practice, so you might come in and out of this a few times, maybe adjusting your stance, finding what feels supported in your body at this moment. The next time that you're lifted, we're going to pause there. And from here, think of squeezing those glutes and then kind of softening and letting your hips fall a bit. Squeeze, lift, and soften. Squeeze, lift, soften. Go ahead and find your pulsation here. We'll continue this for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Squeeze, lift, reach your arms up and back, and then vertebra by vertebra, let yourself lower down onto your spine. Legs can hug in. Maybe you find some rock side to side. When you feel ready, go ahead and kick your legs into the air. Maybe point and flex your toes, circle out your ankles. We're going to take a moment here to work some kind of minor engagement. So with your feet up toward the ceiling, take a moment to flex your toes, flex your feet specifically, and then we're going to reach through the ball of the foot, kind of internally rotating a little bit. Ball of foot reaches kind of out into the side. So you're at this kind of angled away from midline. And then come back through center. And then think of pinky toes angling toward midline, pressing in. So, and then back toward center. And then big toe angling away from midline, back through center. Pinky toe angling toward midline, back through center. And continue this just a few more times. It's kind of subtle. This is a great one if you spend a lot of time on your feet. You can do this while seated as well with your legs extended ahead of you. If you're on a chair or something. All right, wherever you are, go ahead and circle out your ankles. Let that go. Hug those knees back in. And from here, with those knees hugged in, really use your core here. Think of exhaling and drawing your knees in and then releasing. Exhale, draw knees in and release. We're going to do this just a couple of times, activating through the core, and then you can reach your arms overhead and start to escalate these. Maybe straightening your legs a little bit behind you, letting yourself rock along your spine until you feel ready to come to a seat. From here, inhale, arms up. As you exhale, right hand lowers, look over with your left. Inhale through center. And exhale, second side. Inhale through center. Let's find a twist, but we're going to exhale, goalpost the arms, twist to your right. Inhale through center. Exhale, goalpost, twist to the left. Let's do that once more each side. Inhaling to lengthen. Exhaling to twist. Last one. Inhale up through center. And as you exhale, fingertips can come to the base of your skull. Create a little resistance between your skull and your fingers and your skull. Elbows draw back. Think of really drawing shoulder blades together, like you're pinching a pencil between them, and lift up and then gently release. Okay, that's our pulsation here. So we're released when we're upright, and then we find that resistance between fingers and skull. Elbows draw back, shoulder blades together, lift through the heart, and come up. I like to match this as inhaling on the back bend, exhaling on the release. Find what works for you. You might go for 5, 4, 3, two, one. Gently release, circle out your arms, your shoulders. Maybe you find some twist side to side. And then come to stillness. Hands can rest on your legs. Pause here for just a moment. Notice what sensations exist in your body. And as you prepare to move, I'm going to scoot back on my mat. You might need to do the same. We want to have enough space for those legs to be out in front of us and have a little bit of a bend in your legs. Catch opposite elbows and take a moment to bring your elbows to your knees. Press away. Let your low belly hug in. Really subtle isometric here. Release up. Let your knees come down. Inhale, arms straight up. Exhale, hinge forward any amount. Find your forward fold here. Inhale to release out, catch opposite elbows, bend your legs again. This time left elbow toward right knee. Press knee to elbow, elbow to knee. Feel that low belly hug in and engage. Take a couple breaths here. Gently release. Going to the second side now. Right elbow goes to left knee. Press one into the other. Take a couple of breaths. Gently release. And then from here, legs can soften. Inhale, arms up. As you exhale, hinge it forward. Notice you might get a little further this time. Oftentimes, engaging through the core opens up our hamstrings a little bit more, makes it feel a little bit safer to go into a stretch like this. Inhale, gently release up. From here, feet are going to plant mats distance apart. And as you windshield wiper to one side, you might experiment with being hands-free and then going to the other side. Let this movement happen at whatever pace feels good to you at this point in time. The next time that we're over to the left, we're going to pause there. Let yourself lean forward, maybe arms come back for counterbalance, and then you can come up and squeeze your thumbs and your fists here. You might even squeeze shoulders together as you come forward. And as you lean forward, think of pressing your leg, your left knee into the mat here, and then come up. Right, you're pressing, you're squeezing, and come up. Relax. Lean forward, press, squeeze, come up, relax. Let's do two more. Last one. From here, plant your left hand behind you. Let your right arm helicopter around. Inhale, lift your hips. Maybe find a gentle back bend. Shoulder blades might draw together. Chin might draw back in space. And release out. Second side, we're going to go over to the right. Hands and thumbs and fists, I should say. Squeeze. Shoulder blades squeeze as you come forward. You're pressing knee into the mat. And up, soften. Back, engage. As you come up, soften. Keep finding this for you. Notice if it feels similar or different to the last side. You might do 3 more of these. As you come up from your last one, right hand can plant behind you, left arm windmills, lift those hips on up. Maybe you think of your shoulder blades engaging, your chin drawing back in space. And ease on down. Come back to facing the front edge of your mat, both hands behind you. Let's windshield wiper those legs side to side again, thinking of it as kind of a reset type movement here. And you might flex your feet as you do this, letting yourself pivot on your heels. When you're ready, let those movements slow. Bring your legs up right. And whether you use your hands or if you want to rock back and forward, we're going to ease our way up into a squat. From here, let's inhale, open up to the right. Left hand reaches down, right arm reaches up. Exhale through center. Inhale, opening to the left. This time, left hand reaches up. Exhale through center. From here, press into your feet, begin to lift your hips. Come all the way up to standing, reach tall. I'm gonna give myself a little more space. Feet are a little bit wider than the hips. We're in our squat stance. We're gonna exhale, round down as you come into your squat. Hips below parallel, head hangs heavy, shoulders round. Press into your feet as you lift up, arms come out and down. Squeeze those shoulder blades together, squeeze your glutes, whole backside of the body. Exhale, round back down to that squat. Inhale, come up. This time, arms out to a T. Squeeze the backside of your body. And gently come down. This time, as you come up all the way, arms up into a Y. Squeeze the backside of your body. And gently release. Give yourself a moment, maybe shake that out. Find your breath if you've lost it. On an inhale, reach those arms up. Feet can step nearer to each other or even touching. Send your hips back, finding that chair form. We're going to play with this here. So this is our traditional chair form, but think of, and you can always actually, if you have a block, you can place it between your thighs and think of your outer hips hugging in to support that squeeze. If you don't have a block, you can always put your fist between your knees to experiment, or just find that isometric engagement of out hugging in, reach those arms up, and on an exhale, forward fold, let it go. Inhale back to that chair form, find the squeeze. Exhale, forward fold, let it go. Two more, inhale, chair and squeeze. Exhale, fold, let it go. Last one, inhale, chair, squeeze. Exhale, fold, let it go. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. As you exhale, fingertips on the mat, slide your left toes back. Soften into your left knee, inhale, look up. Exhale, lift that knee up and straighten your right leg and left leg any amount to look back. Inhale, bend and look up. Exhale, straighten and look back. Once more, inhale, bend, look up. As you exhale, straighten and look back. Pause here, maybe take a breath. Let your head hang heavy. And then inhale, we're gonna bend just into the right leg. Left hand can stay planted. Reach your right arm up and open for a twist. Exhale, reaching that right elbow toward your right instep. Inhale, open for a twist. Exhale, elbow toward instep. Last one, inhale, open for a twist. Exhale, right elbow toward instep. Pause here for one breath. Let your right hand land on the mat and let your feet swivel as you crawl your hands all the way to your left foot at the back edge. Lower your right knee, breath in. And then from here, crawl your hands up to your front leg. Let's take maybe a few pulsations here in our low lunge. All right, now go ahead and find your traditional low lunge. What we're gonna engage here is gonna be this right quad and glute. And so as you stand here, take a moment, notice if your hips are kind of jutting up and to the left, see if you can square and level them. Maybe you adjust your stance a little. And then from being upright, think of squeezing your outer right glute, squeezing your right quadricep, and then soften. Squeeze and soften. Squeeze and soften. Going in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Squeeze and go ahead and soften. Plant your hands. Inhale, left foot up and back. Three-legged dog. Move through your vinyasa. We'll meet in a downward facing form. On an inhale, right leg will lift high. Exhale, knee toward nose. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, knee toward nose. Last one, inhale, lift it up. As you exhale, step it toward your hands. Lower your left foot 90 degrees and find your way into a warrior two with your legs. And we're just gonna pulse here. So really root down through your outer left foot. You might even create a little micro bend in that leg. And then we're pulsing forward with this right knee and back. Sometimes I even like to shorten my stance here so I can get this knee quite ahead of my ankle here. I know a lot of times in yoga, there's this notion of, oh, your knee should never go past your ankle. Have you ever tried to go downstairs? Right? Like we have to do this movement. And so it can be helpful to train it so that our stabilizers, especially, can show up for us in those moments. Continue this for 3, 2, 1. Go ahead, both sets of toes point forward. Inhale, nice long spine. Exhale, wide-legged forward fold. Pause here. You can let your head hang heavy. Shake it out. One thing to experiment with here, we're not going to do full pulsations, but one thing to experiment with here is if you were to really engage through your feet, act as though there's a piece of paper underneath your feet and you're trying to get it to crinkle in the middle. So you're pulling your feet toward each other, muscles hug toward bones all the way up your legs. You might even feel it in your hips. And then release and try that again. You're going to feel it on your inner legs too, that drawing in type motion of your adductors. And just let yourself play with that for a moment. On an inhale, halfway lift long spine. Exhale, crawl your hands back to the front edge of your mat. Right foot steps forward, setting up for that chair form stance. And inhale, we'll go straight into it. Feel those outer hips hug in. Exhale, forward fold, let it go. Just twice more. Inhale, chair, hug outer hips in. And exhale, let it go. Once more. Inhale, chair. Exhale, let it go. This time, right foot steps back. Go ahead and take a moment to lower your right knee. Inhale, look up. As you exhale, straighten both legs any amount, look back. Inhale, bend, look up. Exhale, straighten, look back. Last one, inhale, bend, look up. Exhale, straighten, look back. Pause here for a breath. Soften into your left knee. Right hand can stay planted. We're going to inhale, left arm opens. Exhale, elbow toward left instep. Inhale, open. Exhale, elbow to instep. Inhale, open. Exhale, elbow to instep. This time, inhale, open, pause here. Exhale, elbow to instep, pause here. And then let your hands crawl to your right. Pivot on your feet as you do so until you get all the way to the back edge of your mat. Lower your left knee and crawl your hands up. your right leg until you can pulse into your low lunge. Just titrate into this for a moment. And then once you're here, this is where we're going to bring that action into our outer hip, glute, and leg. So from here, think of squeezing all those muscles and then softening. Squeeze and soften. Squeeze and soften. Find your pattern here. You might continue for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Squeeze and soften. Come down. Plant your hands. Lift your left knee. Right leg goes up and back. Three-legged dog. Move through your vinyasa. On an inhale, left leg reaches up. Exhale, knee toward nose. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, extend. This time as you exhale, step that foot toward your hands. Lower your right heel to be warrior two legs. And then again, we're going to find that pulse. This is what we're doing here. And you might shorten your stance a little bit to work on your knee tracking further over your foot. Find your breath. And notice how this feels here. If we soften completely into the floor, thinking downward energy, this might not feel very stable through your pelvis. But if you keep a little bit of that feet drawing toward each other, upward energy, that muscle integration will probably help this to feel more supported. One way you can think of it is your sit bones drawing toward each other, outer glutes wrapping around and in. You might be here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both as a toe swivel to face the longitude of your mat. Inhale, long spine. As you exhale, find your wide-legged forward fold. And again, notice for yourself if you would like to add in either a hold of that isometric, drawing towards center, hugging muscle to bone, and kind of outer feet drawing towards center, or if you want to pulse into that, maybe you just greet it once or twice and then have a more passive form here, whatever feels best to you. On your next inhale, gently lengthen your spine, look forward. We'll crawl our hands to the front edge of the mat, but this time we're going to step right foot back. Lower down to your knees and come up to kneeling. Take a moment here, move through your shoulders, maybe swivel side to side. And then from here, we're going to bring right foot forward and out to the side, setting up for our pigeon form. If this is a form that doesn't feel good in your body at this orientation, feel free to lie on your back, bend your knees in the air, and bring right ankle toward left knee. If you are in this orientation of pigeon, we're going to keep it a little more active today, as is the pattern. So back toes stay tucked, lift that back knee, think of your right femur drawing back, your left femur drawing forward. You can feel that muscle energy through your pelvis. Maybe it feels steady enough to go hands free, lifting those arms up. Maybe it feels like you want to keep hands on your front leg for some support. That's perfectly good as well. And you might pulse here a little bit, lifting and lowering hips. Just noticing what it's like to really engage and then to soften a bit, engage and soften. We're not here long. After your next breath, lower that back knee. Maybe you take a moment to hinge forward, Greet this more traditional variation of pigeon, slightly more passive. See how it feels after that active. One more breath. Ease your way up. We came into this from kneeling. We'll come out of it that same way. You can always use a down dog to give yourself some more space. But we'll meet in an upright kneeling form where you can scan through and just notice how this is feeling in your body. When you're ready, left foot comes forward. We'll set up for pigeon on the second side. Same thing. Back toes stay tucked under. Lift that knee. Feel your legs draw toward your pelvis. Feel that muscle energy here. If it feels strong enough, again, you might go hands free for a moment. You can always bring hands to your front leg. And again, we'll kind of pulse, thinking of everything drawing in and softening a bit. In and softening. In and softening. Move at your pace. Often when we are recovering or preparing for movement, we think of stretching. And sometimes stretching actually decreases the activation of those muscles, which, makes sense. But it means it's harder for us to communicate to them to get them back online when we need them to stabilize. All right, so from here, you can lower your back knee. We'll take a moment in a more traditional pigeon. And so sometimes when we're recovering, we stretch out those muscles, but then they're not firing in the way that we're used to, and it can actually take longer to recover. And so I've been playing with this activation as part of my recovery, and for me anyway, it's been incredibly supportive. And so you might just notice how it feels for you. As you're ready, you can ease up out of this, come back to kneeling, and then to a seated form of your choosing. But notice in a moment here, when you step into the rest of your day, give yourself time to reflect on how this feels in your body. Let whatever comes up be data you're the observer of. There's no expectation, no necessary outcome. But this might be kind of a different way of moving. So if you observe, if you be curious about it, you might notice how it lands for you. We'll take a final couple moments together. Here, I'm going to encourage a breath that kind of activates through the intercostal muscles, those muscles between our ribs. And it's a nice full inhale, but instead of kind of closing your throat at the top, you're going to keep it open. So as you feel yourself draw in breath, feel your lungs expand, think of keeping that open. You might even continue to trickle in just the smallest stream of breath. And when you're ready, exhale through the mouth, let it go. You might do one or two more of those. Inhaling fully, keeping that throat open, letting your breath swell. And exhale through the mouth. Perhaps once more. Let your breath come and go naturally. Notice if there's anything that you would like to add into this practice. If there's somewhere else you would like to take it. Perhaps lying down. Perhaps moving into a seated meditation. perhaps adding in some movement, whatever feels most supportive to you at this moment. I thank you for sharing this practice with me. Namaste.